Finally they arrive, the first passengers to freedom. Relieved to be going home after 2 weeks coronavirus quarantine on a cruise ship in Japan.
How do you feel now?
Happily, he confirms his health is good. Hazmat-clad officials greet the slow trickle who've tested negative and are cleared to leave. Before they're whisked away from the ship some describe as a floating prison, where the coronavirus infection rate keeps on rising.
Did you feel like enough was being done to stop the virus spreading on board?
The ship's quarantine didn't work. It looked like a quarantine, but it was nonsense. It didn't stop the spread of the virus. It was all over the ship.
Some passengers getting off.
Hundreds of passengers, including Britons, still cannot escape, waiting for evacuation, fearing infection.
For many on board today, there's still nothing to celebrate, and watching others leave only adds to their misery. They're still waiting for their test results, and until they get the all clear, they're not going anywhere.
More than 600 passengers have now tested positive for coronavirus, the highest concentration outside China. The Japanese government says it's taken thorough action to prevent the virus spreading, including using masks, disinfectant, and keeping people apart. But an infectious disease expert who's worked with Ebola and SARS has been on board and is seriously concerned.
I was so scared of getting COVID-19 because there was no way to tell where the virus is. No green zone, no red zone. Everywhere could have virus and everybody was not careful about it.
They take this seriously. Even these papers that I wrote, they're all going into a Ziploc.
In isolation in a Japanese hospital, I speak to coronavirus patient Jerry. Like many of the recently diagnosed passengers removed from the ship, she has no symptoms. A silent carrier, contagious without even knowing.
If they didn't tell me I had the virus, I wouldn't have known. I'm hardly ever sick, but I mean, I think I might have had a cold that's worse than this. I'm experiencing no physical ailments at all, none.
With passengers, including Britons, still unclear when they'll leave, the focus is on getting people home. But with another 79 testing positive today, huge questions remain about how a quarantine ship became a coronavirus breeding ground. Siobhan Robbins, Sky News, Japan.